The Cradle Mountain Summit Hike is a challenging 12.8 kilometre grade 5 walk which offers breathtaking views all across the Tasmanian Wilderness World Heritage Area. It's a hike that requires a really decent amount of fitness. You'll need rock scrambling skills and I think a head for heights. It's a good one for experienced hikers. So if you're a beginner hiker, you'd probably plan to do this a little bit later in your hiking journey. Allow a full day for this hike. Most hikers tend to take about 6 to 8 hours generally. I took longer than that, but that's okay because it depends on your fitness, your pace, the weather conditions, and of course, how much time you want to spend soaking up those views or time on photography as well. So to start your hike, catch the shuttle bus from the Cradle Mountain Visitor Centre and pop off at Dove Lake. My preferred route follows the right-hand side of Dove Lake just for a little bit, and I take the Marian's Link track up to Marian's Lookout. And that's my first stop. I usually have a quick water break there, soak in those amazing views which stretch out all over Cradle Mountain and Dove Lake and back to the visitor centre. From there, take the overland track and follow that all the way to the kitchen hut. Now the kitchen hut is a really great place to have a quick look inside. Make sure you go up to the loft and open up those barn doors, and good place to have a snack, hydrate, and there's also a toilet there, thank goodness. I choose to leave my day pack there, and from there you start doing the real work of ascending up Cradle Mountain. It is marked all of the way, so follow the track markers. Terrain-wise, you're rock scrambling over increasingly large boulders, and I mean really big to giant boulders. There's also very steep sections near the first false summit. There's some lovely large column type pillars up there, which are quite spectacular, as you'll see in the video. And once you're over that false summit, you climb down quite a way, rock scrambling over those giant boulders over the other side, and then back up until you finally reach the summit cairn of Cradle Mountain. And the elevation gain is around 600 metres, which doesn't sound much, but it's those really big rocks that take time to negotiate your way around. And the summit height of Cradle Mountain is 1,545 metres. It's a hike, in my opinion, that suits really experienced hikers with quite specialised skills. It's not one to begin your hiking journey out on. Usually a lot of hikers, when they're at Cradle Mountain, they'll do a lot of the other day hikes in the area first, and then they'll finish off with the summit hike, as long as there are great weather conditions. To put this hike into context, we had been caravanning around Tasmania for 7 long, incredible months. And this hike was successfully completed on the 12th of March. So you'll get to see the weather conditions that I experienced in early March. And it was my hike, the 64 of 75 in Tasmania. I had the best time. I think I'm going to quote directly from my hike journal. Oh baby, finally this day had become. It's really hard to explain the level of anticipation and excitement that I felt. After 7 trips to Tasmania, to Cradle Mountain itself, and countless failed attempts to successfully summit Cradle Mountain, today was going to be my day. Today, I was going to be successful. It was the day that I had trained so determinedly for. It would be the day that I would earn the summit through my own abilities, with my own 2 feet and hands. And I really love that aspect. One of the reasons why I love hiking so much. But to get there, we had actually needed all of the planets to align. We had needed, let's see, the perfect campsite, put our caravan in that was close enough to Cradle Mountain to allow me not too long a drive to start the hike itself. We had needed the perfect weather window, and we had to wait for that for sure. You know, alpine weather is very unpredictable, and so we had a few failed attempts at that weather window, but finally we got the perfect one. And for the 7 long months, I had been working really hard as I'd been hiking all over Tasmania, working really hard in an individualised training program, and I had extensive preparations for this particular summit hike. I was really fortunate that I had a supportive husband, and he'd had to be really patient with me because, as I said, there'd been quite a number of failed attempts, and so obviously when you're caravanning each time, we'd have to leave the area and go off and do something else and then come back. And so we'd been to Cradle Mountain countless times during those 7 months. I certainly had confidence now in my own increasing abilities, together with a really solid level of experience. And I think that the Cradle Mountain Summit Hike most definitely fits into my possibles project. Join me as we step back in time, and you'll get to see what it's like to summit Cradle Mountain.
Morning everyone. Well, I'm so excited. Today is finally my Cradle Mountain Summit Hike day. It should take about 8 hours is the normal for everyone, but for me I'm guessing maybe about 10. Who knows whether I'll get there or not, but you know, I really think I've got this, so we'll see how we go. Give it a go, and
good luck, darling.
Thank you. Bye. For link of the fabulous chain sections on this Marion Link section leading up to Marion's Lookout. So excited, going to be a great day. Thank you National Parks and Wildlife Service for the chains, because this is one girl who absolutely, most definitely, hand over hand, 3 points of contact on the ground at all times. Wow, so great. So great. Well, I'm now up at the fabulous Marion's Lookout after doing the link track. There's the beautiful Cradle Mountain just behind me, and I tell you what, you couldn't wish for better weather today. It's absolutely spectacular, very different from when I was here last at the end of spring in the bit of blizzardy conditions. My next destination on my Cradle Mountain Summit walk, which is the Kitchen Hut. It's part of the overland track, so I will continue up that way. I'm just going to have some breakfast, setting off this early in the morning. The benefit is that there's no one else up here, and of course it's the only way really I can do it with my back. Looking at beautiful Dove Lake, and this is Marion's Lookout, and there's a car park over there. About to set off. Here is Crater Lake, absolutely gorgeous. Boy, we've done some hiking over in this area, in Crater Peak. And as I pan around, Cradle Mountain, and here is my object of much affection, the start of the overland track proper. heading up to the kitchen hut, which will be my next stop. Feeling really strong, feeling really good. Enjoyed my apple and water break. Marion's to kitchen hut before beginning my summit attempt. And I tell you what a joy it is, what a welcome relief to have all these beautiful platforms after my little climb up through that chained section. Always a bit of a wake-up call first thing in the morning, but how beautiful is this? Hey, I've dreamed of this for, I don't know, maybe 30 years of doing this summit track. And we've been to Tassie 7 times, and I've only managed to get as far as the kitchen hut, which is just up here a little bit further. So today is an exceptionally important day for me. After all my training that I've been putting in over years and years and years, but also specifically since we've come to Tassie, summiting other mountains and doing those bigger hikes. The iconic little kitchen hut. There's a couple of little buildings in this immediate area. So let's go and have a look. So much history wrapped up in here. Just phenomenal. Woohoo! Oh wow. Oh wow. Woohoo! Okay, let's go and have a look. Oh, lovely to be in this emergency shelter hut. And you're going to be here once, might as well climb up. Well, here's where I've come from. Over the back is Dove Lake, and here, very excitingly, is where I'm headed. You see the sign just there, Cradle Mountain's right there. The first of the track is easy, but once you get up into that top stack, it is anything but a walk in the park. There are 4 other people up there, so that's going to be really great for me to watch how they go the last bit, because the last bit up there is tricky to find which way to go and tricky to maneuver and negotiate. So I'm very pleased that there will be other people with me. I am getting closer. The track actually continues over that way, following those markers all up there. But here's Cradle Mountain. We're here in all its glory in the early morning light. Absolutely spectacular day. Great to have other hikers. So we are looking at Lake Dove over there, Marion's Lookout there, and all of the tracks that I've walked this morning to the kitchen hut, which is down there. And this is typical of the terrain I have been following so far, and care definitely needs to be taken. I haven't had any issues so far. I have had lots of sensible breaks. I've already drunk about a litre and a bit of water, and had an apple and an egg sandwich. So I'm doing really well. Very, very excited. Look at Cradle. Woohoo! Check out these little beauties. Most of the alpine flowers have been white, which I absolutely love. White flowers are just the best. So much easier to hike on terrain like this without my day pack, which is safely down in the kitchen hut. But this is definitely a rock scramble. Well, I am getting there and I'm doing it really well. It is tricky. Oh. And where you can see the people climbing up there, that's actually not the top of the track. It goes over the top and then right down the other side before you actually start a bit more of the Cradle Summit walks. Continuing on my way up, it is definitely tricky. Not really something I can film and climb at the same time. Hey guys, well, still on the summit track. That section down over there was a little bit of a lip that was really challenging for me. Someone with spinal fusing history, so that's going to be really tricky to get back down. But have a look where we are. We're certainly getting up amongst it. Continuing to make my way up to the next section and then see where the world leads from there. Well, hi everyone, I'm partially up the summit and I'm feeling really great, so I'm going to continue, but I just wanted to show you the track as it continues up over through there, and what I've been climbing on, and it is actually pretty full-blown climbing. There's no way I could have done this with a pack. There's a few little tricky overhang sections that are requiring all of my willpower, and it is quite scary, but I'm absolutely loving it. So I've come through there. You might be able to pick out those sticks over there, down the bottom, up through here, and then I am about to go up here. There's a really challenging little bit there. You may be able to make out some other people right at the top there, and I think we are very close to approaching summit. Hey, here's a bit of the calm. Cradle Mountain Summit. How cool! Woohoo! Fantastic! Absolutely phenomenal. Look at this. Woohoo! Magnificent. Absolutely incredible. Can you believe it? So exciting. Yippee! So, this bit I found really hard on the way up, and I knew it was going to be tricky on the way down. There's a little bit of an overhang down there that's going to be tricky for me, but we will get there. What an incredible day, hey? Cradle Mountain at its best. Woohoo! You can see why I'm not filming while I'm climbing down all rock. But anyway guys, catch you soon. Hey everyone. Well, I have just made it back to the fabulous kitchen hut, which is where I dropped off my pack, and I have just successfully summited Cradle. Woohoo! That was absolutely insanely hard. There's no two ways to say that. It absolutely is, because you go right up the peak and over the back of Cradle and then way down again through really difficult boulder fields. I found that at 5'7" there were times when I could have used a bit of extra height to clamber up all those enormous rocks, and it was certainly hard coming down as well. So anyway, at the kitchen hut now, so it's 1:35 in the afternoon. I'm going to take a fairly good break of probably about half an hour, have some lunch, definitely lie down, stretch out my back muscles and have a good drink of water, because I still have one tricky section yet to complete, and that's the link track that links Marian's Lookout down to Dove Lake. Coming back from the kitchen hut, back down to Marian's, and I will have one more tricky section to manoeuvre my way through. I must say I'm pretty happy with my training that I've been doing and my planning and prep. I'll give myself a tick for pack training. I'm very glad though that I only carried it to the kitchen hut and dumped it there like all the advice says. As far as the physical training's gone, the climbing part was harder up on the summit than I expected. So I could have, I guess in hindsight, I could have climbed more smoothly through that. But really, you know, I'm thrilled with what I achieved because I never thought that would be possible. So all the work that I've been doing has definitely paid off. Of course, a bit more fitness is always a good thing. However, I think I got it pretty close to good enough. You know, I kind of almost flew through this today. I might have been slower than everyone else, but really, who cares at the end of the day? Well, hello. After leaving here at 7 o'clock this morning, it's now 3:45, and so that summit was completed, not 90%, not 95%, but 100%. So how great is that? Finally achieving Cradle Mountain Summit after all of this time. So here I am back down at the beautiful boat shed, and I tell you what, I am ready to get back to the caravan to see my beautiful mountain man. Bye for now.
I feel that I've grown so much through this most epic of epic adventures. Achieving the summit for me means, well, it just means the world, especially coming from my own rather unusual perspective. During these past 7 months in Tassie, I've trained with absolute pinpoint determination, and I've let nothing stand in my way. I've made solid progress on the neuroplasticity side too, which is extremely exciting. I've pushed myself beyond what I thought were my physical limits and have definitely experienced the joy of soaring to great heights. One thing's for sure, I have worked hard to exceed all realistic expectations of my physical limits. As always, Cradle Mountain asks so little, but gee, you know, it just gave me so much. If you've stuck with me throughout this entire video, I just wanted to say a very heartfelt thank you for following along in the journey. You know, Cradle Mountain was a really big summit for me to achieve personally. It was one of many 75 hikes in Tasmania, and I think around 13 summits, and I went on to achieve 200-ish hikes as we caravanned around Australia, 54 summits in 16 months. So thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.